welcome back to the show. I'm going to be talking about another one of my favorite animes today. Bookseller Hoda-san, episode 9. I really enjoy this anime. It's short, it's sweet. It's it's more of an original content, more of a slice of life meets comedy type anime. I enjoy that. The workman class type. Animes. I love those. Every time I see those working class animes, they're always good. So I always watch them. And it's also nice to see an anime that's not about high school, not about children all the time. It's nice to see that all anime is not aimed at like school children. So I know there's a bunch of they're anime for every age level. From G all the way to R and far past. And there's a genre out there for everyone, and believe me, with anime, that's out there. I just love seeing the backstory on like a Japanese bookstore. One of the things that's nice about getting to see this, because I've never really thought about it, but over here you have, in America, you have comic book stores where you go and buy your anime, manga, and comic books most of the time. Although that's really changing these days. You got a lot of bookstores that carry a lot of graphic novels and manga and stuff. So really you don't need bookstore, and especially like Amazon and other places, eBay and whatnot, and Walmart online. You don't really need to go to a comic book store to get your anime and graphic novels and comic books, for that matter. And so, but traditionally you always went to a comic book store. But see, in Japan, they have bookstores that carry everything. They don't really necessarily have just specifically like comic book stores. The bookstores almost have like huge buttloads of sections of like manga and all kinds of like manga and other type of books related to manga and anime and whatnot are all in like sections, and they just got like huge sections, and they have people that are their whole like they're in charge of manga. And even I think Hoda-san in this, he mentions a couple of times he's in charge of like the American comic books. They have their own section over there too, and it's just like you're in charge of whatever genre you can think of. Like each person like working there has like so many sections they maintain, they keep up what's selling. And I like seeing these little things about this anime. That's one thing I like and I enjoy. At the start of this one, you always, every week you get to see like his, this is based on like his stories, his real life experiences. And evidently at some point he's always getting people that come in, and like this girl that comes in, a nice pigtail, anime looking girl. And she has this look, like she asked for this book. And like, it says, I can't find it anywhere. He's like, oh, no, I can find it. And he sure enough, he cannot find it. And like, he goes back to her, he's got this horrified look, like sold out, can't find, all gone. Like, not responding. He like starts freaking out. But I love the girl's look on her face when she figures out. Now, she already knows, like before he even turns around, you can't find it, do you? You don't have it, do you? He's got this like, even though he's a skeleton, he's like nervous, like, no, I don't have it. That's why I love this anime. Just the look on the skeleton. He shows so much emotion, even though he's a skeleton. All of a sudden, he gets, right after she leaves. Before she can even leave, really. Here comes like all these people asking for this book, and he's like, you know what? I should have asked for it. I didn't order the book for myself, and I work in a bookstore, and that was just kind of funny. But it tells you, like, I guess at times, like certain books get really popular, and like they're like sell like hotcakes, It's just I know that's unheard of here, but I guess like the only thing I can think of that would like sell out of a book would be like something that was like a Harry Potter book or something when it came out. Most of the time, everybody usually has like copies on hand, or always will have copies, but evidently in Japan it's a little bit different, I guess, And I just love seeing them, this is one of those episodes, like every now and then they have them like talking in the break room, and they're just kind of swapping stories. And, that was kind of really well done. I like seeing that. Although I discovered something. The one with the bag of her, I thought it was a her, but evidently, I guess I had mislabeled. It's evidently a dude, because like they identify him as a he, and I was like, oh, I thought that was a girl. Like, whoops. Well, in all fairness, had a bag over her head, and he got kind of a girlyish voice, but I guess it's supposed to be a young man. So I just totally missed. It was just a surprise to me in that episode because they're and I like the fact that he's trying to get to his to get his ride to go to the he's trying to clock out so he can like not miss the train, which is a common theme, I guess, when you miss a train in like Japan. And although I've lived in the city, you have like metro and you've had like subways in New York and whatnot. Some places, yeah, if you miss your ride, you're screwed. Although in most places they go around the clock until a certain time of night, and then they start back up in the mornings. Well, come to think of it, some places, I guess like New York and stuff, they never shut down. They're always going around the clock. It don't matter because I guess most cities never sleep. There's always somebody needing to go somewhere, sometime, some way. I can't remember. It seems like I guess New York's about the only place. I guess most places they shut down after a certain amount of time. But anyway, that's a different show. So anyway, I really, and like I said, I enjoyed them talking about like the books and stuff. It's their little horror stories. It's pretty well done. The only thing I felt uncomfortable with was like there's one part in it where he's doing like he's putting a book on the shelf and it's almost like a sexualized like thing because like it's like the book won't fit and he's like trying to push it in like it must fit in, and it does like almost like he's like having sex with a book. It's like I'm like, thank God nobody's like around for this because they would totally misinterpret what I'm trying to watch. It's one of those deals where you like if you were watching around people and like everybody in the room would turn around looking at you like, what are you watching? Like, nothing. Watching a guy about books, and then you have to show him like, no, he's talking about books, like because the sound effect they put in everything, it totally does not fit with what he's doing, which makes it funny but disturbing at the same time, especially because of the voice they use. It's almost like a young girl's voice, and he's like pushing the book in, and you get it. Yeah, it's a sexual overtone type thing, and yeah, well, whatever. And they do it again later, and it's like really disturbing. I like the fact that they were talking about the deathbed, about the term that they call for books that don't sell and are slowly. They were selling at one point, and then they kind of die off. Like a book that it just literally just outdated itself and just like fell to the wayside. I thought that was pretty cool, but and I once again, I've mentioned this before, I like that each character's got their own distinct like face mask and whatnot, and I like his little trying to figure out what he should do, like, and with the fact of like a poor selling book, like 1 and 3 are selling great, but volumes 2 and 4 are not. So if I say this series is not selling, then I'll just drop the whole thing, and then they'll have people in here. So I guess he's like, you're getting to see the struggle of what goes on between, with a bookseller. And I guess that happens with all, anybody that sells any kind of book. Because like, you really can't, sometimes a book will sell, sometimes it won't. Sometimes, it's got some ups and downs. So you kind of got to factor those things in. I thought that was pretty, like I said, this is just, I like these working Joe type animes, and I love the part where he's like he's recommending the book, and at one point and he's like, "Oh, well, we don't have the book, but we have an ebook." And then like the guy yells at him like, "If starts cussing him out like, if I wanted a book, and no, if like I wanted an ebook, I would go online. I didn't come to a bookstore just so you could tell me that to buy an ebook." So at that point, he decides, you know what? I'm not gonna offer an ebook to anyone ever. And I wonder how many people that's happened to. Like, if you think about it, it is common sense. If they're there looking for the book, that means they want the print only. So, like, offering them an ebook is like... But then again, maybe they don't know an ebook exists. So, I mean, that's a double-edged sword. So, but it was still kind of funny. And he's like... And then everybody else is like, as he's telling them, is like, you know what? I'm not telling there's an ebook ever. Like, they've all kind of agreeing, like, yeah, that's just a bad policy. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I want to keep them short and sweet. I really enjoy Bookseller Hoda-san. It's a fun anime. I enjoyed this episode. Like I said, some disturbing parts in it. You know, kind of not really disturbing, but just kind of like maybe one of those you want to watch with your headphones on sometimes because they do. They say some things that are embarrassing. Sometimes they can inadvertently be embarrassing. So I'll just say that as a warning on this anime. Just because it's funny, but some of the things, if somebody's just walking by, or if you're watching it on a bus, like the anime on a bus, or like or whatever around a crowd that don't know much about anime, and some of those sounds come out, you will be embarrassed. So keep that in mind when you watch this one. Anyway, that's all for now. Please remember to subscribe. That's all for now. I'll catch you next time.